Yeah, we've talked a fair amount about the industrial system, and I'm curious, is there anything that stands out to you that you've learned about conventional ag that you were shocked to have heard about, whether it's like the amount of chemical usage or, how the processing facilities are run? Are there any things that stand out to you as just things that kind of just get glossed over as part of being normal parts of the conventional system that you're just like, this, people need to know about this?
Yeah, I think so a couple things. One is on the farmer side. I've if you I've read a couple of books about the poultry production model, not product like the structure that farmers are in the poultry system, where they're essentially like indentured servants, where I have friends whose parents are were poultry farmers, and so this is I'm getting this firsthand too, where they get these they find these farmers that don't have money, they have land, so they're land rich, cash poor,
Hmm.
and then they help those farmers get access to capital to and sort of promise them a certain level of income, and they they get a group of farmers in the community together to go into debt to get chicken houses on their farm, and then the way they in so the farmers don't own they own the chicken house, but they don't own the chickens or the feed that the chickens are eating. All right. And so the way they incentivize these farmers to get good performance is they actually pit, though, say 10 farmers in the community against each other, where the farmer on top gets paid, they come out pretty good.
Hmm.
The farmer on the bottom is barely eking by. All right. And so that system, that it's called a tournament system. And if you get a bad batch of chicks or you upset someone at the feed mill and they don't give you good feed, and there's been stories of that, uh,
Hmm.
you know, and or if you try to push back on your contract, that they try to keep you in debt too during that, so
Hmm.
you don't have any leverage, right? And that system tears communities apart
Hmm.
and takes a lot of folks, and just it's just an absolute struggle to make a living doing that. Some farmers do okay, the ones at the top, but the ones that are, it's a pretty divisive model, and that sort of indentured servitude around. They're in debt their entire lives, as they mean, because as soon as you get to a place where you paid off the improvements you've made on your chicken house, they come back and, hey, here's a new round of improvements you got to make if you want us to re-up your contract.
Right.
That's one thing that I is just such a it's extractive. It's just extracting the social capital, the resources from these rural communities in a way that is then driving, and all the profits are going to the executives and the shareholders of these, these companies. So
Yeah. It's hard for me to not think that there's some level of nefarious action behind that. It just seems like they're weaponizing financing to
they are,
ex-
yes, yeah,
extract work and labor out of people who obviously they have the assets, they have the skill set, but they don't have the cash to get, to go buy the equipment and buy the animals. So
right, yeah.
yeah, it's
And that's one reason why we're so committed to this, like cut out the middlemen, let the farmers and the customer like buy direct from the farmer. Like
yeah.
that's, so we have a very short supply chain. We're, the like, we own part of the processing plant. If our company makes profits, those go back to the farmers. We're actually looking at a model where, how do we give profits and ownership to the processing employees that process the chickens that, or the beef that we send in. So we want to see a model where the is a really short supply chain. You cut out the middlemen, customers are buying as direct from the farmer as possible, and then the profits of that business are going back to the farmers and the employees that are working in those food businesses.